Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening.
And good night.
That's it. We're done.
I am so tired.
Aww.
Man, what the heck is going on?
Now, okay, we talked about this last
podcast.
week. You know, you're now on to Wednesday. Is any of this the...
is this COVID? Let's call it COVID so I feel better.
Is this the post-COVID extreme fatigue as you're now in, third day of the week? Last week you experienced it on Thursday, but maybe that's what this is.
Nikki, I'm dying here.
You're not. You're just very tired. Which feels like you're dying at that point.
It's fine. Let's see. In the podcast, not once but twice, I throw a little fit about how expensive Apple's headphones are.
Now, I'll just say this nicely. Sometimes Obi feels more passionate about something, whether good or bad, if he is more tired. Mm-hmm. So I feel like some of the passion on a few items today comes from just being so tired.
Oh, man, I'm tired and I'm so over-caffeinated right now.
So if you were like super rested, I don't know if you would care as much about the Airpods Max price. I mean, you would think it's ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as you think about it is right now.
No, Nikki, I'm insulted to my core.
I know. You feel personally attacked with it.
That's exactly right.
And that's from being exhausted.
I feel that they have personally crossed a line that needs to be addressed.
And you don't own any AirPods. Like you're not an AirPod user, so like why do you care about the headphones with it?
Because someone needs to stand up and tell these people that enough is enough.
So that right there is what I mean about the exhaustion and what we are talking about in the show today.
We talk about Christmas card day, Christmas sweaters, Halo Infinite, and okay, maybe it's another example. It's people at the coffee shop.
Also, very passionate where another day would that have just slid right off, like what
no
is it?
Big deal.
Water off a duck's back, something like that. But you'll hear about it today.
What do they think they were doing?
Because we're so tired.
Somebody's got to stand up. Somebody's got to stand up.
Again, it's this personal attack that you feel with everything.
Yep. People are coming after me, and I won't stand for it.
So either that's COVID fatigue or COVID paranoia. I don't know what it is.
All right. Well, hey, you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
And don't forget, you can always text 877 to RadioU during the podcast and say hello while you're listening.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
All right. Bye, everybody.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I have hit the point in December. It happens every year. And I actually entered December this year going, no, we're not going to do that this year. We're going to handle things differently. Things are going to change. And that's not going to be a thing. But I'm waking up at 3:30.
Oh, you are?
It happens
it does.
every year.
I kind of thought maybe you were kind of past that. Oh, no, that's terrible.
Somebody please either A, tell me what it's about, or B, just commiserate and tell me you do it too.
Just how to fix it.
I just came in an hour early today. I've been upstairs working. Now, I mean, in fairness, I've got some things that need done. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, I could lay here for an hour and do nothing, or I can get up, go to the station, brew some coffee, and make some things happen.
Well, sometimes, that works out better, so you have less to do later today or something. But still, no one wants to get up that much earlier and not be able to go back to bed.
3:30. I couldn't. And I actually thought, I was like, nope, you're not doing it. Don't you dare get out of bed, because if you get out of bed and you give in to this,
then
that means it's
going
to start being a thing. And then I was like, well, yeah, but okay, so we'll lay here. So after laying there for 20 minutes, it's like, well, now we're just wasting time.
Now we just need to get up.
Just get out of bed already.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I just want to know if anybody else. Is it just me? It's not you. So
no. I mean, I do wake up still during the night, but I am able to go back to bed.
Man.
Does anybody else have a time that they always wake up?
I don't know. Like, I want to know, though. Could you guys tell us? Because what the heck, man? It's like it's just the right time to where I can't, if it was like a weekend or something, or I got up at 6 or 7.
Later, you could just make it worth it.
You would lay there long enough, you would fall back to sleep, it would be fine. But at 3:30, it's just the right spot to where if you go back to sleep 4:30 is probably going to be hell for you because, like, you'll never be able to get out of bed.
Sure.
And et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, I don't know what it's about.
Well, so you seized the day a little earlier today. You had extra time.
I carpe the diem.
I wondered why the coffee was made so early. I was like, hey, he's really on top of it.
Oh, it was early.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU. RadioU.
I want to say hi to Drew, who says that his 3-year-old gets up at 3 a.m., so they get up at 3 a.m.
Everybody gets up.
Me too, man. Me too. And then also want to say hi to Eli. As far as I can tell, the only person who took my advice. And it was good advice, people.
Well, it seemed like Eli watched something last night that Obi had talked about. Was it yesterday or the day before? An Amazon movie.
Yes.
And it's an older one.
Super Inframan.
It's from
1975. Shaw Brothers, who are really well known for their Hong Kong Kung Fu films.
Yes, it has some prestige to it, but it's still a really old and not a very, it's a hard movie to watch. I mean, you enjoyed it, but it is something.
First off, it's not a hard movie to watch.
Sure.
I found it to be quite easy.
Did you?
I did.
It made me think like Kung Fu and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's exactly that. I mean, this is where those things find their roots. Mm-hmm. Those TV shows from the 90s find their roots there, and some of that anime from the 80s and like all that kind of stuff. And we don't need to get into.
But he watched it, so we appreciate you, I guess, following Obi's example.
Yeah, so it looks like, who did I get? And I got messages last night from a guy named Jeff, a longtime listener, who said that he also was looking for it but couldn't find it on Amazon. Okay, here's what I figured out is I have subscribed to Shout Factory on Amazon. It's $3 a month.
We have another subscription. It's just there.
It is. Look, it's legit. Like, it is the weirdest stuff, Nikki. And there's a ton of Mystery Science Theater on there and whatever. And I think the reason it was quote unquote free for me,
it was because you have that.
I think it was part of the Shout Factory subscription that I have. So if you guys ever want to know, like, what's the crazy, bizarre, whatever that I'm watching at night, I scroll through that Shout Factory stuff and I'm just like, this is so weird. Let's watch it.
You love that stuff.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, Eli, thank you for texting, and we appreciate you supporting Obi in such a way that you were watching the movie he was talking about.
And hey, want to say hey to Sean. He just texted in. He's the guy I met at the gas station this morning.
Oh, hey, good morning, Sean.
At, what was it, 4:45?
Very early
10
in the
till 5?
morning,
Like,
yes.
It's pretty early. So he says that I'm not the only one that's up. He's up that time, too.
Oh, he's working at that time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yay.
So great news. You know what? Maybe that's... Sean, you should go home and watch Super Inframan.
Nope.
Maybe...
What?
Like we're up at this weird time. Maybe we're all set for Inframan,
Maybe you can't go to sleep at night properly until you watch that. And then you would sleep the whole night, all the way until the very last minute. All the way through your night.
All the way through, Nikki. You ready? Like, let's go home and watch it right now. The sad part is I'm still tired. Like, I'm tired right now.
I know you are.
But it's fine.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Well, Nikki, today is Christmas card day.
Oh, is it? Is this when most people send out their cards?
I don't know. So, okay, let me read to you what daysoftheyear.com says about it. Way back in 1843, the first commercial Christmas card was created in England by Sir Henry Cole, and he was the one that came up with a printing of cards that you could purchase, and then you could send through the post. And in 1843, that's 20 years before the American Civil War. What was the post office like in England in 1843?
I can only guess based on the movies and shows we've watched. That's all that I'm thinking in my head.
So the idea is that today you take a little time to fill out a card.
Or two. Actually, I am doing more cards this year because there's a few people that normally we meet up with at Christmas time that we're not.
Yeah.
So I have to mail a few more items than I normally don't mail anything, but I'm going to have to this year. I'm not
doing cards, and I'm not doing anywhere near as many gifts.
Oh, you're not? Just because, again, we're meeting up with less people.
It's just, yes, like I'm I don't even know. Outside of seeing my mom, I don't know if I'm going to see anybody for Christmas.
No one else?
Hopefully my mom and my stepdad, and then hopefully my uncle. But yeah, I mean, my dad lives on the moon, so rockets are really hard to get to this year. And
it's expensive.
It is. It's hard, and they don't want you bringing COVID out there. So,
yeah, I guess for anybody else, today is the day that you can put your cards together if you need to.
It's Christmas card day, so get yourself ready for a nice round of cards.
Yeah, great. I always feel so ridiculous when I have to do cards because I don't know why, but we don't write as much, and man, my writing starts to get really bad just because I don't.
Oh, it's because you don't write very often.
I don't write very often, so like your wrist hurts, like your mousing arm and all that stuff, and you're just like carpal tunnel, like all that stuff. You're like, great, it's my bad arm. I just can't even write a Christmas letter.
My bad arm.
It's not the best one.
In general, I'm not a big fan of cards. I'm always like, hey, I would rather you get a blank card and write something heartfelt in it than getting me some.
That's the worst. Then you have to come up with the whole card.
You know what my problem is? I always got something to say.
Yeah. So. Well, I remember loudly, too.
Yeah.
Just put it in bold right on that card.
I'll just write it out for you.
Sometimes if I have a blank card I have to use up, I just look up a nice thought or two online, and I just use that.
No, you don't.
Yes, there's tons of sites with helpful hints on what to say. So then it's heartfelt and stuff. Like if someone's getting married or something, you want to say something nice.
Well, you know what? Like it makes me feel better about my last birthday card from Nikki. You are an adequate coworker.
Well, that's what the site told me to say.
She looked it up. And to think I thought those beautiful words came straight from her heart, and she was just copying them online.
No, your card comes with writing already in it.
I didn't write anything.
I'm not writing yours.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Yesterday, Apple actually blew me away.
Really?
They shocked even me.
Well, are you shocked because of the price or what it is?
Yes.
Both?
No.
We're still back to the price?
No, we're just on the price. Yesterday,
it is expensive.
They announced the AirPods. Wait.
The AirPod Pro Max.
Is it the Pro Max? Because
yeah.
I thought that I was about to say that, and then I was like, that's a joke.
Look it up.
No, it's just the AirPods Max.
AirPods Max?
Yeah. Your phone is the Pro Max. The AirPods Max. Now, what they are is an over-the-ear headphone.
So they look a lot like Beats, which they own. But the thing around the ear is bigger, or at least taller, taller and thinner, but it's something.
They say that,
they look so comfortable. I bet they're so comfy.
I imagine they're spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's true. But here's what gets me. These new headphones are $549. And that's insane. It's just insane. Now, listen, I understand that there is a category of consumer that is an audiophile that is paying this much for headphones already.
Yeah.
Those headphones exist. Nikki and I have talked about the fact that we love headphones, and
we live in headphones many hours a day. I mean, we have to wear our headphones.
I have looked at Sony's new headphones for the PlayStation 5, kind of like, you know. And see, I've even gotten to the point where headphones don't sound that expensive to me. When you tell me that a pair of headphones is $100, it's like, yes, that seems reasonable.
And for your AirPods and stuff, like it's normal to cross sometimes up into the 200s. Mm-hmm. But then suddenly it was like, what happened to 300 and 400? Like, why are we at 550?
We skipped
a lot of money there.
Yeah. So like Beats Studio, like those were what, $300? Like that was, because my thing is, I think back to people wanting Beats and it just being like, who would ever pay?
No, I mean, those are way more affordable than they used to be, but I still feel like a lot of headphones capped out around $200-$300. I mean, that would be the expensive ones.
Exactly. Even if you go into like in the gaming community, you spend a lot of money on headphones, and they're usually, you get, what are those, the Astro A10s or whatever, and they're $250, and that seems like a lot. Apple was just like, oh, yeah.
No, never mind.
We're so far past that, like it's not even worth mentioning.
I'm desperate to know how much these things actually cost to make.
Oh, they don't want to tell you that.
Desperate. Because, I mean, if you're talking, it's got to be less than that, but how much are they trying to take out of these things? But again, they look fantastic, and they must be so comfy. They're noise-canceling headphones. They're going to be launching on December 15th.
I'm not, I would love to try them.
I know, but you won't be able to with COVID. I doubt you'll be able to try these things on.
Man, you can't even, if you buy something, you can't return it. So, okay.
I was like, wait, you can return these things.
I know you probably can. What I was trying to say was that there are, depending on the retailer, so like Micro Center, they've got a big sign up front that's like, because I bought some headphones for something else at Micro Center, and they're like, hey, just to let you know, you can't return those.
You touch it, you keep it.
You sick, infected person.
Whereas in other places, they're more generous. They're like, yeah, we'll just take it back no matter what, but we're not touching it. So we're not doing it. So it'll be next Tuesday that they launch. And man, I just really want to try them on. Because, again, we get ear fatigue. We love our headphones, but I could use a bigger, padded area. That'd be nice.
I'm trying to look.
You're imagining how they would look on me? I know. It'd be nice.
I'm looking past your facade into your heart right now.
How open am I? Hey, this would have to be a station expense, and I'm not asking RadioU to even go close to this amount. Our headphones are way more affordable than that.
And we bought our own.
But, it'd be nice. Just something out there, but maybe once they go on sale.
Well, one of my friends that works for another station, his station, they bought all their staff Beats headphones. And my reaction to that was,
though, for radio. Those are terrible.
You guys, I'm like, you look
Those
great
are the wrong ones.
You look great in your photos, but the sound quality is just all wrong for the studio.
Oh my God. There's a difference between radio headphones and you're listening to music. It's a completely different style.
It's a whole thing.
But put that aside.
I know, I really want to try them. And I hate how expensive they are.
So the Airpods Max announced yesterday, the shock factor was the $549 price tag on the new over-the-ear headphones. I don't know if we mentioned that part. It's over the ears, and that will launch next Tuesday.
I'd rather have an over-the-ear headphone anyway, but that's just me.
See, I'm really used to when we're not working, then I do the in-ear ones.
I'm never happy with earbuds. Just put the big, fat, huge things on my huge, fat head and leave me alone.
Just leave me be.
Listening to the worst of the riot is the equivalent of standing in line at the BMV. Ugh. Worst of the riot. RadioU.
Spent a lot of time chatting with people online last night about a problem I know that we all have, and that is watching TV. And you're like, oh, you mean you're addicted to your TV? No, I don't. It's more like I'm addicted to scrolling. I sat down last night. I was like, okay, I got about an hour.
Yeah.
What do I want to watch? And the answer was nothing. After probably at least half an hour of just poking around at stuff.
Now, I'm sure you had a lot of streaming choices and services and a lot of scrolling options, but you just couldn't land on anything?
Tell you what I have right now. I've got HBO Max, Netflix,
you have
YouTube,
Amazon?
And Amazon.
And then the one thing through Amazon.
Well, Shout Factor to me doesn't count.
That's still an add-on.
It just shows up in Amazon.
I know, but it's still an add-on.
Okay, and it's $2.99.
It is. It's still something.
All right, you're right. I'm still paying for it.
So I mean, there's still choices to scroll on there.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I posted, and it seems that a lot of you are in the exact same boat that I'm in. I see here that Ed says scrolling through streaming services is the new walking through Blockbuster. Like
I
Blockbuster
guess.
video.
Oh, just because you'd have choices?
Craig says, I can never decide what to watch on Netflix. I usually end up watching an old movie that I've seen before.
That's true.
Let's see. Bo says, I've been watching a ton of Linus Tech Tips on YouTube. Yeah, see, that's the other thing I did, is that I looked at all these streaming services, and then I just went to YouTube and watched a bunch of short videos on YouTube.
And that made you more happier than starting like a series or something.
Yeah, Kyle says, here's my routine. Scroll through Netflix for 10 minutes, scroll through Amazon for 15, scroll through Hulu for 10 minutes, go back to Amazon for 10 more minutes, watch an episode of Psych I've seen 15 times, go to bed.
So wait, do you put anything in your queue, or are you just saying, because I'll still put stuff in there, I'll just never watch it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you are putting stuff in the queue. It's not like you're just scrolling.
No. Like, what I'll do is I'll put stuff in the queue, and then I'll go back to my queue and be like, I'm not watching any of this.
But it feels like you've accomplished something when you take it out of your queue.
Yeah,
Even if you never watched it, it still feels like you did.
I'm spoiled for choice, I guess. You know, I'm longing for a simpler time. Like when your grandparents were like, we had 2 channels, and one of them signed off at 7 p.m.
Is that how it used to be?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I do know some broadcast history. Yes, you know, both TV and radio used to sign off at night.
Oh, really?
So, like, there'd be a time during the day they'd play the national anthem. Done.
Well, now it's hard because you have so many choices, and we're paying for all of them, but we're not watching anything. But we still pay for it.
Well, and when I got done, I was just like, dang it. There actually are a couple things I'm kind of interested in, but I didn't feel like I could get it started. And that's the other thing, too, is like when you start a new show, don't you feel like you're embarking on a new relationship and it's like a first date? You got to be on your best behavior. You got to pay attention to what's going on really closely. You got to meet the new characters. Do you like the new characters? Is it worth going on a second date with them?
You got to prepare.
It's just all of it's just too much work.
I marked a new show I wanted to watch, and it's 36 episodes. So I have a different mentality going into it. I'm not ready for it yet, but it's there. So I was thinking, well, maybe at Christmas time when there's a day off or a week off, like then I'll have an opportunity to start something like that. Just not ready.
Well, the other problem I have is I'll sit down with my 36 episode show and be really excited to watch it, and then I'm like, man, I don't have any control over this at all. Let's just play a video game.
Let's just go back to something else. Oh, that's that restless feeling that's happening.
It's just everywhere, right?
Is that what making it sleeping hard at nighttime? You're just tossing and turning.
Maybe that's what I'm just like sleeping. I'm done with this. Let's do something else.
I know,
but then when I start something else, I'm like, I'm done with this. Let's go back to sleep.
You're just so concerned about it that you wake up every morning too early because you're just ready to start to find something else.
Man, we got to get down there and start scrolling again.
We're getting up now.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I got my ugly Christmas sweater yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Which ended up being a T-shirt.
That's fine.
Okay, tell me how big of a cheapskate I am. I can take it. Yesterday, I went shopping for this very reason, because what I did was, it seems like last year or 2 years ago, I waited too long. I couldn't find a shirt. And so I thought, I looked at ordering one yesterday, and my concern was that it wouldn't get here by next Thursday.
Sure.
So I went to Kohl's. Kohl's typically has a little selection of
Kohl's
ugly
and Target,
holiday stuff.
They'll have ugly Christmas sweaters, and Walmart too.
So it was $40 for a sweater.
That's so much money.
Okay, thank you.
That's so expensive.
Okay,
for
good.
an ugly Christmas sweater.
Good.
No?
Thank you.
You didn't pay that, did you?
No.
Good. Okay.
I got 2 T-shirts for $14
Perfect.
total.
Perfect.
So I got like a Baby Yoda Christmas shirt.
Yeah.
And I got it. I don't know if it's supposed to be an elf shirt or what, but it looks like I'm a jolly old elf.
Oh, perfect.
So I put a long sleeve shirt under it. Look at me. I'm a jolly elf.
Oh, yeah. If you're ever at a physical store and that's the price range you think that you're dealing with, the $40, it's not. Those are always on sale on Amazon.
No.
You did the right thing.
I just couldn't. And so then I go over there. It's like you can have $40, or how do you feel about $7.99? I was like, well,
that's more like it.
Let me tell you about $7.99. We're on to something here.
You can even add a long sleeve shirt underneath it, so it'll be perfect for if it's a little chilly in the studio that evening.
It's fine. It's fine. And it's going to work great. I feel great about it.
So if you guys want to prepare with us, if you want to wear your ugly Christmas sweaters, again, for that ugly Christmas sweater party, it'll be next Thursday night on the 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And please go ahead and like and follow us at RadioU on Facebook. That's where you'll be able to watch it.
Yeah. Let's all make that all happen there.
Let's just all be ready to watch and wear our sweaters or our T-shirts or whatever you get. I
feel better now that we've talked about it. So now I know that I don't have to feel bad about showing up in that T-shirt, 1, and 2, that when I felt like $40 was a lot for a shirt that's probably going to get worn.
Did it at least light up?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that's way too much.
I mean, it lit up the room, but it wasn't electric.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC. Anybody Anybody playing video games this fall? Everybody wants to. No one can get them.
Well, I mean, there's some, but it's, at least for the new console, still not readily, easily available.
I'll tell you, I was genuinely looking forward to playing Halo Infinite this fall. And they did their 15-minute playthrough video. Maybe it's 9 minutes. I don't normally watch those. I'm usually I'm just going to wait till we get closer to launch. I'll take a look at it.
Now, when did they do that? Was it in the spring or summer?
It was August.
Oh, it was August? Okay.
Maybe September. And to me, I was like, we're close enough. I want to see this thing. Show me what you got.
Well, then they decided, since you were interested, that they decided to wait. So that was one of the most pushed upcoming fall video games that they had to push into next year.
Well, everybody watched the Halo Infinite video they put out, and people just tore it to pieces. And I always feel stupid because I watched it and I was like, this looks cool.
Oh, you weren't the only one.
I want to play it. Let's get it, guys.
The people who didn't like it as much, they were just louder. That's it.
I guess. I thought it looked great. I was excited. I was like, man, this is going to be great. They're going to do this whole thing, and it's going to be like this and that. I can't wait to play it. And other people are like, did you notice the shadows of the tree in the background? Just goes to show you it's not true next gen. It's cross-gen.
They didn't do it right.
Whatever. So they have said, they postponed it. Mm-hmm. They haven't given a date. Now they've given a window. They say it's going to be fall of next year.
Wow, that far?
So an entire year.
That's a long time. But do you think it was an entire year because something was wrong with it, or just an entire year because something's wrong with this year? And they just want to put enough distance and make sure that it could be an actual possible full release, that things would be better by then.
I do think that Microsoft needs a win with Halo. The thing that PlayStation is kind of killing Microsoft with is that they just have, even though they don't have a lot of PlayStation 5 exclusives right now, they are supposed to have, especially first half of next year, multiple high-end kind of franchises that are going to be PlayStation exclusives. Now, a lot of them will play on the PlayStation 4 and the 5, but people are kind of okay with that. Microsoft, on the other hand, seems to have almost nothing that isn't a third-party title. Now, last year or 2 years ago, they bought up approximately 150 million different studios. So I mean,
give or take a couple.
They have games coming,
sure,
but they just don't really have them right now.
Yeah,
and so it's a whole thing. But
I feel like we're going to start seeing, though, for the entertainment industry, with most movies, video games, and stuff, that they're banking on the vaccine starting to where they're not picking a springtime anymore. It seems like they are just going for next fall,
straight for the fall,
because they hope by then things will be more back to normal.
Probably right.
So they're not pushing out something that would have to be postponed one more time.
Right. Well, I hope that's true. And I wanted to play Halo Infinite. I guess just wait till next year.
Well, now you have even longer, and you love to go back and play some of the old Halo stuff.
Well, I got so excited about the new Halo that I went back and played through Halo 3. I played through Halo 4, and I got about halfway through Halo Reach, and I never did go back and finish it. But
well, now they're waiting on you.
Come on.
That's why they had to give it a little bit more time. You weren't done replaying through everything.
Till Obadiah plays Reach again, we will not release this game.
Now, you might not have got that from their press release, but that's what we took it as.
It's out there.
It's your fault.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the riot podcast.
Now, today is December 9th, and they are saying, and by they I mean several large online retailers, if you think you have a prayer of getting something by Christmas, December 12th.
It is earlier than previous years because of so many people just continuing to buy things online. It's just overwhelmed, and things take longer than they used to.
It's true. And so if you want something, they're like, you gotta get in early, son.
You have to do it. So
you gotta.
A lot of places are saying if you're just mailing something. So we looked this up. If you want to, say, get a new RadioU coffee mug or a piece of our RadioU merch.
Yes.
So if you go to shop.radiou.com and you want to get that by Christmas, they do say that Monday the 14th would be the last most practical day to order things that just ground-wise would be sent to you.
So some businesses are kind of like hedging their bets and saying the 12th, but you're saying that the post office is saying the 14th.
Yeah, it says kind of like, that Monday is something that you need to prepare, which to me feels earlier than that's ever been.
Let me bottom line it for you. You better get moving.
Yeah.
If you are waiting on a thing and you're like, I'll just get it.
You're not going to.
That shipping thing is, you better get moving.
I have one important present that I need to mail to somebody, and I'm kicking myself because I know I'm not ready yet. I have to do one final thing to finish it. I know it's going to be so much just to try to get it there by Christmas at this point.
See, oh man, that was yesterday. I ordered something it was either the Wednesday before Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Day as a Christmas present. And I allowed Amazon, they're like, would you be willing to make it a slower ship or whatever? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I still don't have it. It was supposed to come yesterday. They're just like, someday maybe.
And it's not like they're not trying. I mean, I counted 3 different FedEx trucks in my neighborhood at the same time that they were all delivering things.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, wow, I thought I just saw this guy. And then I saw them parked near. I was like, whoa, no, these are all different trucks, but they're just overloaded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? If that's your job, you have my sympathies for sure, because I know you guys are working really, really hard. I also need some of that stuff to show up.
So if you see something, attention, Obadiah, it's a special name, so it'll stand out to you.
It'll stand out.
Make sure that gets through.
Make sure it gets over here.
If you don't mind, before Christmas.
And that's not, I'm not trying to thing. It's important.
You're using your clout just to try to get it all.
I have no clout. They see mine and they're like,
Put it in the back.
I think that fell off the truck. I don't think it made it.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
High dynamic range. How important is it to you in your life? I care about it a lot, kind of. You know what I'm talking about, Nikki? HDR.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it's not enough that it's 4K. Is it HDR? Is it 4K HDR? Then I'm not even interested. Get out!
If Obi is watching something, he wants to be optimized in the best way possible.
It actually,
for your home experience, where sometimes you would be like, oh, just in the theaters, that's all where that counted. But you want it at home.
I drive myself crazy sometimes with the idea of like, wait, if I turned a couple knobs, could I make it a little better? Like a little better?
Yeah.
A little better? And pretty soon I'm 3 hours into that, and I don't have time to watch the thing anymore.
Where the rest of us are like, yeah, phone's fine. We'll just watch it there.
So I do love HDR, like larger color gamut. It also it can get brighter, blacker blacks, brighter whites, et cetera, et cetera. But YouTube has just announced that they are offering support for live streams that contain HDR.
Oh, really?
So they have video. So you can watch 4K HDR videos on YouTube, but you've got to upload those. Now they are going to be adding it to live streams.
So that'd be good. Probably they're mostly directing that at live gaming streams.
I guess so.
It wouldn't be like, say, our RIOT ugly Christmas sweater party.
It won't be.
I don't know if they're optimizing it for something like that. But I can see gameplay would be important.
Yeah, but if you've got an HDR capable camera and you're live streaming, then sure.
Yeah, why not?
Do you want to go shopping? You want to get an HDR camera?
Wasn't planning on it today.
In truth, your iPhone probably has that. So we just set that up and we beam it into Vmix, and all of a sudden, look, well, but does Vmix handle HDR?
That's a better question. That's just a program we use.
That's a whole other thing, right?
It's good. You want it to be the best looking quality product when you're watching something, even on YouTube.
HDR is, I'll say, like, I do a lot of gaming on computer or whatever, and HDR, I can never get it to come out of my PC quite right. But hooking up a game console to an HDR TV and having that can be, if it's utilized well, it can be very cool. It really does add something to the image. Same thing with movies and stuff. You find a movie where the HDR is well done, it can really be impressive, especially little, they call them spectral highlights. Like one of the recent ones that sticks out to me is I was watching Jaws, and it's at night, and you've just got light reflecting off the water, and the light reflections on the water, it was just like, that's so cool. But that's the world I live in.
You just love that stuff.
I do. I can talk about it all day, man.
So again, YouTube has announced that for their live stream, so then, it's going to be more optimized.
Yeah. So if you're interested in presenting yourself to the world in HDR, YouTube says they're the place for you.
Worst of the Riot. RadioU.
Yesterday, in just a flagrant mismanagement of public health mandates, I went out and had coffee with a friend.
You did?
We'd both had COVID, so it was just...
Oh, yeah, I guess... But you didn't go in, did you? Or did you just sit in your car?
No. Like, we went, got coffee, went in, sat down in the coffee shop.
You can do that. It just depends on where you're at and how long and how close. But you're right. You guys both have had it.
Yeah, so we went in, had coffee.
Not that you want to flaunt that when you go in. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, it gives you a really different take. Like, I don't pay attention as closely to a lot of things that are happening now, because I'm just like, yeah, that was all to keep me from getting it.
Sure.
And I got it. So bye. Whatever. So we go in, have coffee. Coffee shop is empty.
Mm-hmm.
Empty.
Yeah.
There's people getting coffee and leaving, but nobody else is sitting down. So, it's not a huge coffee shop, but there's probably 10, 15 tables in there where you could have
Where
coffee.
Normally there would be people.
And there was nobody. So we're sitting there drinking coffee, and, this is nice. It's great. Whatever. So how are you? Blah, blah, blah. These two ladies come in. They get their coffee.
Mm-hmm.
In a completely empty coffee shop. Where do you think they sit?
Do they sit right next to you?
Right next to us.
How weird. I don't know. That happens sometimes, and I think maybe when it does happen, like, does the person feel comfortable being closer to someone? Do they think it makes it less odd, or... Why would you? It happens when we did go to movie theaters. Like if you didn't have your seat assigned, why would they pick close to you? Or why would they be next to you on the treadmill when there's all these other ones?
What are we doing?
Did you ask, or did you kind of shuffle over, or what did you do?
It was just one of those moments where I was like, what? And I actually thought, I was like, I don't want to be rude. But like, I just want to get up and go to another table. Like, is this like is this your special table?
Maybe that's a normal spot, and they just always go there.
And that, like, we're the ones that are actually, intruding on your space. And if the coffee shop was full and it was the only table, sure, yeah, whatever, But just the idea of completely empty, and they just walk right up and sit next to us.
You're like a magnet. You've got that pull. They just want to come next to you.
Truth be told, I found it so odd that I almost wanted to ask.
Aww.
Like, hey, no offense, I just want to know, this whole place.
Yeah, why?
Why did you come and sit by us? And the other thing I thought about saying is, like, just being there and be like, start coughing, and be like, I've got COVID, I'm not supposed to be out.
No,
but
don't say that. Then you get in trouble, even though you're allowed to be out. I'm
not supposed to be out, but I just can't stay home anymore.
No, I think if you would have just said, ever since COVID, I just can't kick this cough, that would be enough. That's all you'd have to say.
Is that Abraham Lincoln having coffee with a unicorn over there?
So, yeah, people sometimes do that.
Don't understand it. Why? Why do you do that? Is anybody brave enough to text 877 RadioU and say, I'm one of those people? Can you tell me why? Can you explain it?
Don't understand that they're doing it. To them, it's not anything weird. I'm sure the coffee place was already distanced. Like, I'm sure technically the table is far enough away from you.
I didn't feel like it was. It was probably only like 3 to 4 feet. But again, I've had COVID, so whatever. Cough in my open mouth.
Well, that's also not something we're supposed to be doing. So even without COVID, we don't.
Forget about disease. This is just a social thing. Like, why are you sitting here?
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
So I asked for your input. I went to a coffee shop yesterday, being the terrible person that I am, out in public. How dare I? And the coffee was good.
Was it?
It was Jamaican me crazy, some kind of blend, like very, very good coffee. Really enjoyed it. And got a little brownie to go with it.
Well, something to wash it down. Is that it?
Spending time with a friend like that, I might become famished with all the talking and listening.
Sure.
So I couldn't have that happen. I needed to be fully on my game. And so I had that. So my question is, these people came and sat, completely empty coffee shop. A friend and I are sitting on this table. They came and sat at the table next to us. There's 10, 12 other options, like completely on the other side of the room.
Why did they choose?
Why did they come and sit right there? I don't understand.
But again, that's always been a thing for some people. But the question is why do some people do that?
I don't know. Katie says she's glad that there are floor circles in the grocery store because people can't bump into her or breathe down her neck. She also says she's visually impaired and she's afraid of getting pickpocketed. So she's very glad.
Oh, to have the distance?
To have the distance.
And so even at the coffee shop, most people were just going in and out. But, I mean, they weren't as distant as you would think that the table should be, even though Obi has had COVID. So he's still good. So
other Katie texted and said, I'm not one of those people, but it can get more awkward when living in Southeast Asia. There were times we had to share tables with strangers in restaurants. It's a cultural thing I do not miss.
That became popular a little bit here where you just had a long table and you would just, pick your part of the table. Which I didn't think was weird.
We've gone to a few restaurants where that's a thing, and people still try to leave a space between you and them. So
unless it was super busy, it's not like they were sitting right next to you.
Yeah. Let's see. Gina says they recognized you and wanted to sit in the presence of awesomeness.
I think that was they probably recognized your voice.
I don't think that's what it was. If you had seen the people that sat next to me, I don't feel like they were probably
fans.
I don't think so. Tim says maybe they were eavesdropping. Kyrie says maybe that coffee spot had the best ambiance. That's how I pick my tables.
Like the best spot, like the best feeling spot for them. You know how some don't want to sit like next to the wall or maybe not near the entrance or something, or near, if you're too close to where they're ordering, it's louder.
Okay. All right. Hardy says humans are social creatures and are drawn to each other. She had another person.
She was not by herself.
She didn't need to be there where I was.
That really bothered you.
It didn't. It was just one of those.
Or confused you.
I'll just tell you, I hold back all the time. Of course, you guys don't think so, but especially, like, maybe not in this room, but in other places.
In public, you usually do.
The fascination or the behavior of people fascinates me, and I often find myself wanting to ask people, hey, wait a second, why did you do that? And it's not about, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be mean, I don't want to be whatever, but that was a conscious decision. I find it impossible to believe that they didn't notice an empty restaurant and all kinds of places to sit, but there was a conscious decision to choose that table. Why did you choose that table other than that table over there?
But don't dare ask them. You know that won't go over well. They'll be so offended.
I know we don't respond well to questions like that. I totally get it, but I sure would love to ask it. Josh says I would have said something. I keep my space and distance.
Well, especially now people are supposed to speak up, but then you make yourself on a Reddit forum because there's then a altercation and someone's filming something, and before you know it, it's Obi featured on a viral video.
Listen, I don't want a part of crazy. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to know, but I didn't ask. That's why I'm asking all of you. So I thought maybe
because he can ask you and it doesn't become a problem.
Some of you would have insight and you could tell me, but it sounds like it's a mystery to all of us, really.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Man, if there's anything that has happened in the last 24 hours that has been truly shocking to me, aside from the fact that Ohio State and Michigan are not playing football this Saturday, man, that Apple announcement about their new headphones, I'm still thinking about it.
Really the price that's bugging you the most? Because it's so much money, or?
Nikki, $550.
I know, but they must be amazing.
Stop.
What? It's not us. It must be something that's so great. Maybe we're just not thinking.
$550.
It's so much money.
They can't be that good.
And I've had so many headphones break, and I know you'd have obviously a warranty probably with them, but that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money in that.
Apple's like, you're privileged. They worked for a month, man. You're
Good for
killing
you.
it.
Good for you.
Want to have another month? $550. Anybody
else think they would? Would you be willing at $549 plus whatever tax.
Thanks for that.
Would you be willing? So practically at this point, almost $600 when you walk out of it.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to pay that much money for the Apple Airpods Max? Or is it Pro, or which one is it?
It's the AirPods Max.
Would you be willing to put that much money into their headphones?
If you missed it, it's a new pair of over-the-ear headphones that Apple unveiled yesterday. Obadiah is still
pondering it.
Just shocked at the price tag.
What's really bad is everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's their version of Beats. But it's funny. It's like they own Beats.
They own Beats, yeah.
It's all Apple, no matter what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. The other little announcement that Apple made yesterday, they just kind of slid in there, and maybe this is how they're paying for it. Oh, my gosh, that's it. Now I see it. They announced For All Mankind is going to have a third season.
Yeah.
And I loved the first season. The second season is coming. And so they've said, hey, we're going to do a third season as well. Maybe your $550 headphones is how they're paying to give us a third season of that.
There's probably something to that.
Hey, everybody get out there and buy those headphones because I want more seasons of that.
So Chris texted in, why call them pods? Those are full-on phones.
I agree with you, Chris. I think it's just for branding.
Yeah, because to them, pods are what we all know, even though to us, we know them as our, in-the-ear ones or nestled gently in your ear area. But these cover your whole ears.
So Calvin says they're overpriced. You're paying for the Apple name.
Yeah, that's everything, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is the company that charged you $1,000 for wheels to put on the bottom of your computer.
Did they?
Have you ever seen that?
No.
The casters for the Mac Pro?
I don't think so.
Or whatever it is. Like, it's, I think 1,000 might be more. It might be 700 or 800, but like it's some insane price.
Well, Chris texted in Oklahoma, another Chris, so that's PS5 money. For headphones? No. It's a good way to put it.
Well, you know what, though? Here's what is interesting to me is that I had a conversation with somebody who I feel like I just waste money and I'm so terrible with my money, even though I only ever spend cash. And then, I had a conversation with somebody the other day that was like, yeah, we bought one of those Xboxes, and can you believe the headphones for that are like $250? And I'm like, wait, what?
They bought the headphones?
Yeah, I'm like, who buys the headphones? So like, they bought the Xbox, the headphones, extra controllers.
Oh,
I mean, like
they saw them coming, man.
Like way over $1,000 on a $500 purchase.
Some people buy it all.
This is the kind of person you buy a $1,200 phone and some $550 headphones to go with it.
I could see it being...
I got to have all the accessories.
If you're into music and you have a lot of extra money, and you can't get a PlayStation because they're hard to find, and you're like, well, what can I spend my money on? Maybe you'll be tempted with these. They come out on Tuesday.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Is that the best way we should leave everything with? Or?
Even scalpers are like, it's not even worth it.
You won't have to worry about bots getting this.
We can't resell them any higher than that.
But they must be...
No, they don't. They don't have to be. They probably are. They probably are. They don't have to be.
Be mad at Apple all you want. They still make an amazing product, so I bet they're good.
It's not that the product's no good. It's that it's overpriced. That's not the same thing. I agree with you. I know if I buy something from Apple, it's going to be a good product. But geez, man.
We're just getting to the point where we can't afford any of those things anymore.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
God bless Pizza Hut. Out there doing the Lord's work.
I didn't expect you to say that. Should we just say pizza in general, or are we being specific about Pizza Hut?
Well, this time, Pizza Hut and I have an old problem with each other. Basically, the Yum brands and I don't really get along well. Pizza Hut, KFC, and Taco Bell.
Long John Silver's, yeah.
Yeah, Long John's. What are we doing?
And then Taco Bell, they're all owned by the same.
What are we doing?
Same company, which is Yum.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Pizza Hut just announced the triple treat box.
So I think they do these boxes each year, or we've seen these boxes before.
Have we?
Yeah, the
Are
triple.
you sure?
I think so. This isn't new, but what's in it is maybe new for this year.
Feels new to me, Nikki.
Well, I've never ordered a box set from Pizza Hut, I'll tell you that.
Triple treat box, 2 pizzas, 3 courses. So here's what you got. You got 2 medium, 1 topping pizzas. Mm-hmm. Then you've got orders of breadsticks and orders of cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
So you got breadsticks, I believe they're saying, are the appetizer.
Ah.
Then you're going to eat some pizza for the main course, and then you'll have some cinnamon rolls for your snack.
For your dessert?
Dessert, yes. Yeah. It's perfect, except for the fact that it's Pizza Hut. Everything about it is perfect.
I haven't had Pizza Hut in forever, but I never would mind it.
The last time I had Pizza Hut was at your bidding when we went to the buffet.
The buffet, man, that's good, though, because then it doesn't matter that it's bad. It's just you're having so much of it.
Yeah, but we always go to that buffet, and by always, I mean a year ago before the world exploded.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah, and you go in there, and it's like you show up 20 minutes after it's supposed to start. They haven't put any pizza on the buffet
They're
yet.
waiting for people to come.
Then they finally start making pizza, so you pay for it. You wait 20 minutes. A pizza shows up. By then, there's 20 people waiting to get a slice of the pizza.
Yeah, that's how it goes, but that's what's fun about a pizza buffet.
That's the fun part?
Well, that's what you would expect. I mean, it's better than the other one. We used to have another one you'd go. It was never as good. And for some reason, you took on the smell of the place of the pizza when you were leaving. Not in a good way, but like it would just stink so bad.
Yeah, it would stick to you. It was weird. It's like I'll go to other restaurants. Sometimes you come back and smell. That was one where it was like you were guaranteed
to always
that you were going to reach.
I don't know why, but man, I really miss pizza or just buffets. Just that, the choices. I miss all that.
I went to a buffet when I was on vacation at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And you weren't allowed to get your own food. You had to go through and tell the person what you wanted.
That's not what I miss.
That made me feel stupid.
Buffet.
And you're like, that's not enough. That's too much.
Well,
of course, I don't want that.
When it comes to a buffet, it was private. It was between you
and the food.
And no one needed to know how many things you got of all that or how much. That was the good part about it.
Yeah. Well, here it is. It's the new thing at Pizza Hut. In reality, it's the same old product in a brand new package.
Well, this is bringing it back. So they had to have it. They did have it before. I just can't find what year it was.
Well, they're bringing it back. And I'm up for pizza right now. Come on.
Just anything. Someone had something to where there's brownies in the break room. It was.
I saw that. I had a part of one. It was good.
That
was
is
a
from
Papa
this
John's
box.
pizza, right?
Was it Papa John's or was it Pizza Hut?
No, it was Papa John's.
Okay, so they must have had pizza yesterday here.
I haven't had pizza since last night, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to have more pizza.
Why didn't you bring any for breakfast then?
I should have.
You should have had some.
I really should have.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Do you want to talk about these chips? And if so, you need to explain it. You explained it to me a second ago during the song.
I just said, hey, Nikki, let's switch it up. Let's talk about food.
Because we were just talking about food, so we're going to talk about more food now. Why not?
Well, you got to eat.
You do, and this is all we have, okay? So we don't even have any big game days coming up, so it's not like there's anything else.
Oh, man. Let me just say, let me, that we were... Ohio State was supposed to play Michigan on Saturday, and even though, of course, we weren't having a party, wasn't going to get together with anyone, there was a plan that involved me and the roommates and a big bowl of cheese dip.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
And now
there's no game.
You can still have it. Why don't you find a movie? Maybe cheese dip works well with a movie.
Cheese dip and Die Hard? Hey, that's not bad.
Actually, sounds like that works pretty good.
That's not bad.
And then it can become an annual tradition, or if you ever go back to the movie theater, you can bring your own dip in. If anybody ever plays football again, or if... Well, I like this because this is really supposed to be about the Super Bowl, but because they can't put that on there, they call it game day stuff. So... The big game bowl. The big game for the game day. But Lay's has announced a limited edition game day flavor, and this is chili potato chips. So not like chili spices, but like if you have a bowl full of chili, it's supposed to taste like that. What about a bowl full of jelly? Like my belly. Yeah, that's the season for that. Get a good laugh. No, this is game day chili chips, and it is supposed to be the first week of January that they start coming out, and it is kind of in honor of the Super Bowl. Well, it's cute how they're planning on having it next year. That's really nice, isn't it? That's really great. What's the Super Bowl supposed to look like? Is anyone going to be able to go to that, or every other seat? You're not going to get to go to a party, so the best you can hope for is these prepackaged chips. Yeah, I bet everybody will really follow the no party rules for the Super Bowl.
I don't know. It just depends on where you live, I guess.
So this is only available for a limited time. That's the flavor that they say will be out the first week of January, but with other flavors in the past, you should see it roll out before then.
Yeah, it's probably going to be around. So what's your take on a chili bowl chip?
I'm honestly on the fence about chili most times. I go back and forth with it, but they say this is a classic combination. Tomatoes, chili peppers, onions, sorry, Obi, garlic, Tex-Mex spices with a little back-end kick.
All right.
That's what they say this chili version is.
I often receive a back-end kick from chili. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
So if you look for them, that'll be possibly a fun upcoming food fight. But that will be early January for Lay's Game Day Chili Potato Chips.
Well, Nikki, if you or me or Eric or someone brought them in here,
you try it. You know it's got a strong onion flavor, though, I bet.
You know what? It might not. It actually
it'll
might
be
not.
There. That's the back end kick.
You think it is?
Probably.
All right.
Potato chips. This style
Wait, this isn't you trying to get me not to eat it, is it?
No,
so that you can have all of them?
Oh, no. I don't want all of them. But I want you to understand, because they're not the wavy ones. I only like wavy potato chips. So, I mean, I'll eat others, but I really like some structure to the potato chip. What's weird with that?
I didn't say it was weird. I said it was specific.
Can't we like what we like? These are flimsy.
You know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm out.
I want waves.
You know what? This is where we're at now. We're arguing over wavy chips.
We got nothing else. Nothing else.
Let's switch it up a little bit and talk about chips.
Some more food.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
You're just on this dusty plane with these really crazy guys that are like,